Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red, I. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta, and sell it out, and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. I. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta, I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, come on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. War keep going on, less roses. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just and I say watch him man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rasta. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Save all people. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Save all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. So just as I and I say watch a man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare every the way. Prepare every the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari. War and crime. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Rastafari. We love all. And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Me love Jah. Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah. Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ.
It was a year that started with many bloodshed. It's a year that's ending with half of the country lying in destitution, while the government, clergy, and Freemason is at war over disaster money. Tonight, we will look at the last 6 months, the news cycle of the last 6 months of the year. This was the period that the political hodgepodge was really turned up. It's the period where we, the people of Jamaica, found out we have to tugger along with wholeness another 5 years. That period that brought us untold disaster. That period which created the eviction that Auntie Angela came out today with all of her things, rucksack, duffel bag, and swinging purse, trying to gaslight us, like say we make up something pan them. It is 30 minutes to midnight, the last half an hour of 2025 in London. Good night and welcome to our New Year's Eve broadcast, the last few minutes of 2025. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We will first look at the news cycle of the past 6 months, and then, once we get into October, where it goes from there. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome, one and all. Thank you for joining us. A prosperous 2026 to you. When it comes, we have all made it to the end of 2025. Last few minutes for us in London here. Last few hours for you on the Eastern timeline. Welcome one and all. Good evening, Debbie Jervis TV. Good evening, Charlotte Graham. Good evening. Good evening, Sharon Bernard. Good evening, Lynette Jenkins. Good evening and welcome. Gloria Morris. Good evening. Who else is here? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Barbara Simpson. Good evening, Miranda Roddock. User UX7, good evening and welcome. Good evening to the cockpit country. Debbie and Duncan, good evening and welcome. A happy new year to you all. Prosperity, blessing, abundance, and awakening for 2026. Now, let's quickly look at the last few months in the news cycle. I'm going to tell Auntie Angela to line up for with you now, please. Because Auntie Angela came out with one whole heap of galangin today. So, we're going to talk to Auntie Angela as well. But in July, you knew that Jamaica took care of CARICOM. One can say that that period was probably the worst period of CARICOM. The period where CARICOM was most divided. The period where CARICOM did not have a voice. That was when our Prime Minister led CARICOM, and it has turned disastrous for the country. And as long and from during them time as well, you know, the election date debate heightens as to whether the Prime Minister is going to call the election, or what if the Prime Minister is going to get something in the way to postpone or whatever. So the whole of that cycle, the build up to the election was going on. Though during those time as well, you remember the old bus, them the China Plastic old buses, the old buses, the jail for $31 million. Those things were very big in the news cycle at the time. Dr. Roger Hunter and Dr. Carl Bruce debacle and the whole of those things were kicking off round about those times. So from we get into July, the news cycle was turned up to a notch going forward. You also remember the government continue back about the reduction in crime. The government continue to jam that down with truth. August, pretty much at the same galangin. Was it that time they took a supplementary budget to Parliament of $1.27 trillion as well. You have you remember the motor vehicle law where it all over the place where they keep biffing and buffing with it. There was also continuous issue of integrity in politics as well. Then when you get in August, things really, really started to heat up because everybody was on the edge when it comes to election. But the Prime Minister, Baba and wave, until you remember, Dr. Dayton Campbell was to announce nomination day for August 18 and election day for September 3rd, which was later admitted by the Prime Minister. And then the country melted down into foolishness. You also remember during the end of August, we had 3 series of televised debate which the Jamaica Labour Party came out losing in all 3 of them. In the final one was when Mark Golden thumped Andrew Holness in and back and all of that. A very tough and closely fought general election. But when one looked at the campaigns, one would have thought the People's National Party was going to take it home. And then we had to get used to the disaster of Andrew Holness. You also know in August we celebrate independence and those cultural celebration, as well as the election madness, especially after nomination day on the 18th of August, turn really silly. Silly to the point where we ended up with Andrew Holness, which on September 3rd, the Prime Minister, his wife, and the whole of them carry out a trick panwe. But the PNP rose their majority by 100%, which it's neither here nor there. Parliament resumed back on the 18th of September, then swearing, and Juliet Holness start manhandle them and all the others. You remember on the 9th also of September, you remember that massive shootout in Mandeville with Brown Man, the egg story, the gun story, everything that come from that. The body-worn camera argument, the body-worn camera debate also was heightened around that time because the Jamar Ferguson shooting around those time as well, leading into the general election. So the body-worn camera debate, the extrajudicial killing debate, all of those arguments were rife at the time within the whole cycle of all of the political madness that was going on. And you remember Andrew renamed the ministry, 2 ministry at that time. He renamed the Ministry of Infrastructure, Economic Growth and Job Creation to Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development. He also renamed the Ministry of National Security to the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Sorry, don't ask me what that means. When I'm the Prime Minister catch up, when I have that galangin with him. So, when I tag on, Agwan, we know say we in the hurricane season. School open back in September, the new the rural school bus system launch and a taga it way across the country. Then we get into October and we still a taga go on. We are going. We are going with ourselves. Donald Trump and the whole of them are make their nice, but we are going with ourselves. We're in October and we are going and we are going. Then Melissa, mid-late October, thought for threaten we. Threaten us, Melissa did, but not only that Melissa threatened us, Melissa carried out a dangerous assault on the people of Jamaica on the 28th of October. And you all know what happened from that. Melissa come with record rainfall. Melissa come with record disaster death for modern Jamaica. It come with record destruction for the western parishes, particularly St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney, St. James, some parts of Manchester, and so on. It come with displacement of over 25,000 people. It destroyed hospitals, courthouse, police station, schools, community center, the livelihood of many Jamaicans across the disaster zone. And we all know what carried on from that. The hurricane relief, rescue and relief effort since the 29th of October has been nothing but disastrous. When you speak to the people of Jamaica who've gone underground, everybody say it was a fire, or bomb drop on the people them, or this is not earthquake, this is tornado. What is not covered much though is the dangerous tidal surge that flattened Black River and Parity. It's not much spoken about in media or mainstream media or even in the blogging circle. People would think that the devastation in Parity and Black River was just by the wind and the rain, because not much is spoken of when it comes to the tidal surge, 8-foot tidal surge that covers almost 3 miles of the community. You see, so a lot that has happened is not being said. Historical tone like Black River was flattened will be forever changed. Hundreds, thousands of people in Westmoreland left homeless, the same in St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, and St. James, and other places. Disaster we've never seen or experienced before. But what we've seen as well is incompetency from government, cruelty from government on a level we have never seen before. And you know, since the end of October, everything in our news cycle has been dominated by the effects of Melissa and the recovery. We are yet to be told properly, or yet to have a proper understanding of how much people we've lost in the disaster. Because the government maintained a 45 figure. That's the last I remember from them. And we don't believe that, because in Dr. Campbell's constituency alone, Dr. Campbell told us in Parliament in his constituency alone, he knew of 25. There were people who have to be buried by their family and community because of the incompetency and the recklessness and carelessness and wickedness of government to get into those zones immediately in the 72 hours after the disaster. The government failed miserably on all of those. When it comes to delivering the bare minimum in a disaster zone, we have seen where the government have failed miserably as well to deliver food, to deliver water, to deliver health care, and to deliver shelter. Something 2 months on from burial, we're still grappling with. Because this is why today is eviction day. It wasn't us that said, Auntie Angela, it wasn't us that said the people have to vacate the school premises by the 31st of December. It was you all, both you and the Prime Minister, who said it. We only repeat it. So to come out today, Auntie Angela, swinging with your purse, rucksack, duffel bag, and everything, like we walk and make up something, we're talking and we sleep. This is what this government continues to do throughout the whole disaster, rather than planning strategically and implement those. The government spend more time responding to criticism. Now we also move off into the whole heap of money collection. We've seen money come left, right, and center. We've seen money come left, right, and center. And we not hear of no help for the people them. But we see JPS get the same amount what we get for catastrophe ban insurance. How ironic and how coincidental. How ironic and how coincidental that the same amount of money what we get in a catastrophe ban, the same amount we could have lend JPS. People of Jamaica lying in ruins, and the government is playing tit for tat. We're going to go to some earlier videos, which I should have played this morning, but we're going to listen to them now. These are from, I think, yesterday evening before eviction day, and then we will play what Desmond McKenzie says on eviction day. Now you also remember, after the government go to South Africa and come back, the government, when he shouldn't stay here and look after the people who elect him, in got the G20 go beg, and when he come back, him insult the people who take shame out and eye, the vloggers, the entertainers, the YouTubers, the TikTokers, the every little Jamaican who say, you know what, me can't see this a go on, and turn up in my heart and don't go assist the people them. And the best the Prime Minister could do is when him come back from South Africa was to insult the people. The best the Prime Minister could do when he came back from South Africa was to insult the people who stood in the vacuum of incompetency with the Prime Minister and nobody from government. With 2 months on, some communities still not seeing no yet. Some communities still don't even get the simple assistance of food and water from someone yet. What is this? Oh, it's the wrong. I don't know why the proper video weren't uploaded. Sorry, let me go to the other one. I don't know what happened to that video.
Nobody has come from that day that they came. The Prime Minister of Jamaica came. He addressed us with no form of direction, no form of information as to tell us how he is going to transition from us being displaced into some form of stability. How will he get us back? There was no reassurance that came. I spoke to Desmond McKenzie personally. He said that they will come back and speak to us. From that day, we have not set eyes on anyone to come and give us any form of directive. We have spoken to the shelter manager, no form of update. There's nobody for us to talk to. We feel abandoned here in Westmoreland, Petersfield, to be exact. Nobody has come from that day that they came. The Prime Minister of Jamaica came.
No. I want you to listen now to Auntie Angela. And tell me, what is this gaslighting all about? Listen to Auntie Angela for me, please. Hold on. Where is Auntie? Come on, Jelja.
It is on.
I want you to listen to Auntie Angela, Globalist, and listen to Auntie Angela word and explanation very, very well. All right? Please do. Listen to Auntie Angela. Because these people think we are fools.
It is unfortunate that I have to use this opportunity to respond to some dangerous mischief that is being created as it relates to the shelters, especially the Petersfield shelter. This government has never indicated to anyone that shelters will be closed at 12 noon today. There are persons out there who are creating serious mischief, misleading the country, playing on the sympathies and the unfortunate state of persons who reside in these shelters. This government has given a commitment to protect the dignity of these persons, and we have no intention of moving anyone out of any shelters that is being used at this time, whether it is schools or community centers. We are working closely with the ministry.
Right. This part of Auntie Angela's explanation is important. Listen to the competency that Auntie Angela will explain now. Bear in mind, we're 2 months on. 2 months on into the recovery. Listen to Auntie Angela's explanation.
Ministry of Education and those works are well advanced. I want to spend a minute to speak on Petersfield. We have found alternative location on the grounds of the school, behind the school, where we are now doing some temporary work to allow those persons in the shelters to go into that location. Already, there are persons who have been using it, and we are going to be doing some work to ensure that the 50 persons, and it is only 50 persons, that are presently at Petersfield Shelter. Food for the Poor and a team from the ministry is down there in Petersfield as I speak, looking at locations to put temporary housing solutions. We are going to be holding those persons at that location until food for the
Today the 31st of December. Today the 31st of December is when the government is looking at location, looking at solution, looking at this, looking at that. You notice from Melissa, this government now come out and say, this is what we have done. This is the plan that we will be executing, or we are on the route of execution. No, is be responding to criticism and come out with mischief making.
Report and the ministry and the other agencies have completed the assessment and putting down the temporary housing. I want to dismiss this as false, mischievous, and a blatant lie, and to call out those persons who have their own political agenda and want to use the plight of these people to get recognition. Stop it. This government is going to push back at the mischief makers, and we're going to call them out for who they are and for what they are doing to hurt these persons, because they are creating fear amongst the persons who have already going under severe stress because of Melissa. This government of Dr. Andronis is caring. We understand. We have listened to the persons. We will not, and I repeat, we will not be putting out anyone in any shelters in the 5 parishes that have been affected until we have put down the necessary things in place. And we are.
It's midnight in London. A happy new year to you. Happy 2026 to you all. We have crossed over in London. Happy New Year from London, everybody. We have crossed over. And your support throughout 2025, and we look forward for an exciting rumble tumble journey going into 2026, where we have ended 2025 with geopolitical rumbles and a lot of domestic disasters and otherwise. 2024, we are determined to continue the awakening of the people. Once again, Happy New Year to you all. Welcome into 2026. Now, back to usual scheduling. The fireworks, there's bare noise around me. I can barely hear myself. I don't know if you're hearing the loads of noise around me, but I literally cannot hear myself because every building around, and you can hear the farther fireworks like in the city and all of that. But everything around me is nice at the moment. I can barely hear myself. Yes, Debs, we are 5 hours ahead of you all, and we are into 2026. You all have 5 hours, I believe, to go in 2025. Hurry up and come with the head down. Australia and China is way ahead of us. Ghana, I think, is ahead of us. Ghana, Germany, and quite other places have celebrated their 2026 already. Me don't know if I can hear the noise, you know, I can barely hear myself. A beer noise. Everywhere around me is beer noise at the moment. Fireworks is just going off everywhere. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Colleen Richards, welcome. Mavis Fabs, how you do? Sharon Bernard, Lynette Jenkins, Laura Morris, Sabina Sarkody, everybody, Tash, Christine Gilbert, Lady Bug, Raymond Norman, Pamela, everybody, Happy New Year to you all from London. Those of you on the Eastern timeline, wanna hurry up and come. But you heard Auntie Angela, didn't you? You heard Auntie Angela, Violet Watson as well. Happy New Year. Everybody, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. You heard Auntie Angela. Them just a make plan here now, we know. 31st, the fireworks, them just a go crazy. 31st of December. The day when Auntie Angela and the Prime Minister wanted the schools vacant. At that time, Auntie Angela, Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Can see people outside, all on the people outside that video because we will live like on the upstairs building them. We can see the fireworks from the city. So we can see people cross the building there with them phone out a video fireworks, but never mind the distraction. 31st of December 2025, eviction day, and the government still never make any plan. So the government on eviction day is when the government food for the poor and Ministry of Labor and Social Security and all of that. That's when them are run around. After all of this, run around and talking about the availability of schools. They need schools to start in January. All when we've been saying to the government, use the tent them from Japan. Do emergency procurement with the container host them to get people out of the schools them. No effort by the government. There's a lot of lumber sit down pan wharf. The JDF is still not fully deployed. Lumber the pan wharf still a wait for come off. We could not help rebuild people house to get them back in their house. No plan from the government. And Auntie Angela come out and gaslight us. Auntie Angela come out gaslighting us like we are the ones who make up the story about eviction today. We make up the story about the ultimatum where the government give the people to be out by today, Desmond McKenzie. Everything that this government fail on, the government get into an angry tirade and push the problem right back upon we. But we are not going to stay quiet because all of this anger, Darrell Vaz do it over the 150 million, and you do it when he fails to assist the people them in the disaster zone, and here come you. I can't do the same thing. I try to cow we down when we just repeat what Una said. We're basically repeating what you all said. And never we come up with the deadline for the people to vacate the shelters. I'm sure we didn't come up with that. And so then now, Desmond McKenzie come out and make we look like say, and we just a go around and make mischief. This government don't take no responsibility for nothing. Everything are because we mischievous.
It is unfortunate that I have to use this opportunity to respond to some dangerous mischief that is being created as it relates to the shelters, especially the Petersfield shelter. This government has never indicated to anyone that shelters will be closed at 12 noon today. There are persons out there who are creating serious mischief.
Come on for the 12 noon. Today is today. Ono said they must vacate them today. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock. It don't make no difference. I still today.
Leading the country, playing on the sympathies and the unfortunate state of persons who reside in these shelters. This government has given a commitment to protect the dignity of these persons, and we have no intention of moving anyone out of any shelters that is being used at this time, whether it is schools or community centers. We are working closely with the Ministry of Education, and those works are well advanced. I want to spend a minute to speak on Petersfield. We have found alternative location on the grounds of the school, behind the school, where we are now doing some temporary work to allow those persons.
Globalist, I don't know if you can hear the noise around me, but you can barely hear anything. A big fireworks are going around and around the place.
In the shelters to go into that location. Already there are persons who have been using it, and we are going to be doing some work to ensure that the 50 persons, and it is only 50 persons that are presently at Petersfield shelter. Food for the Poor and a team from the ministry is down there in Petersfield as I speak, looking at locations to put temporary housing solutions. We are going to be holding those persons at that location until Food for the Poor and the ministry and the other agencies have completed the assessment and putting down the temporary housing. I want to dismiss this as false, mischievous, and a blatant lie, and to call out those persons who have their own political agenda and want to use the plight of these people to get recognition. Stop.
Auntie Angela, nobody now look for no recognition. Nobody now look for no recognition, Auntie Angela. We're simply been saying to the government for 2 months now to set up tent cities, to set up temporary shelter. We have been saying this to the government from the first week of the disaster. I can't hear myself. It look like everything I go on. Jesus have mercy. When I hear the noise, I can't hear myself. From the first week of the disaster, Auntie Angela, I seen thing with holy power, including Dr. Daz and all our in media land, is asking the government to do. So to come on the 31st of December, a quarrel, a push the blame upon we, that we're political, and it's mischievous, while out of the other mouth upon you, you still tell we say, your ministry, Food for the Poor, and whatever agency from government, a look place to set up temporary housing. Desmond McKenzie, you don't understand the contradiction in everything we are say. You don't understand the incompetency that lied bare in front of us in a way I say, Desmond McKenzie. where if you all were taking our advice from we did say it, we wouldn't have been here. Can you understand that, Auntie Angela? Hmm? So we get it, you know. We know say when uno can do better, uno just go quarrel and blame game. We get it. But what we now go do, Auntie Angela, is accept it. Uno go shoulder, uno blame them. Uno go walk with the burden of uno incompetence. You see, just like uno walk with the shame of the money they want to thief. And we talk about with money they want to still walk with the shame with the money they walk with the burden of uno incompetency. Because you shouldn't shame Auntie Angela. You shouldn't shame for today, the 31st. I come tell we say una look at place, una assess place, say set up temporary shelter on the day of eviction, Auntie Angela, and you don't see the problem. You don't see say you are the problem. You don't hear say what you just say are this very problem of incompetency and wickedness what we are talking about. How is that mixed up? How is that political? How is that us looking to become popular? Me popular long time there's Auntie Angela, me popular long time. So nobody not have to look for anything around here. We just choose to talk the truth. Something we uno have too much of a problem with. These are the things we're talking about. The incompetency where you sit down and explain to it and a quarrel about it and a blame we for the same incompetency where you still explain and a quarrel over at the same time. So you're confusing.
This government is going to push back at the mischief makers, and we're going to call them out for who they are and for what they are doing to hurt these persons, because they are creating fear amongst the persons who have already going under severe stress because of Melissa. This government of Dr. Andronis is caring. We understand. We have listened to the persons. We will not, and I repeat, we will not be putting out anyone in any shelters in the 5 parishes that have been affected until we have put down the necessary things in place and we are well advanced in providing the solutions that is required. Mischief, I urge them to stop it, because we're going to push back at mischief makers and liars.
I don't know if a wheelbarrow you're going to use, if you're going to use grader, if you're going to use backhoe, push all you want, Auntie Angela. Push all you want, because we're coming straight ahead. Straight ahead, we're coming, Auntie Angela. You can turn up and push back. But we're coming straight ahead. And when we come straight ahead, we are come with our own words. When we come straight ahead, and our own words are no problem, you know. And we are no problem of such. We hate when we bring back our own words them town. We're going to go to Fifth Element and the $75 million. Because
Jamaica,
this government is a piss taker. And then we're going to go to the church, the Freemason, and the government where war over the people them were living in a disaster zone. The church, the state, and the Freemason a war over the money where to help we the people of Jamaica. Yeah.
and listen to me very carefully. Jamaica, especially my Christians, listen. This is not an attack on God. This is not.
Oh no, it's not. It's seven. Yes, this is 75,000 for the church. Yes. Oops. Oopsie daisy.
Jamaica, come close and listen to me very carefully. Jamaica, especially my Christians, listen. This is not an attack on God. This is not an attack on faith. This is a question you've been taught never to ask. If Jesus was standing here right now, homeless families sleeping nowhere, people hungry, displaced, broken, do you really believe that he would say, fix the church building first? Be honest, not religious, honest. The government found $75 million, not for the poor, not for the homeless, not for the children, but for churches. And they call it psychological support. Christians, uno look upon me. Jesus healed people, not buildings. Jesus fed the hungry, not institutions. Jesus walked outside the temple when the temple forgot the people. So who exactly is this policy and money serving? Because it does not look like Christ. Let's stop pretending, Jamaica. Churches already collect tithes every week. And that's from people who are already struggling. And now the government use your faith to justify skipping the suffering. And that should disturb you. Because Jamaica, ask yourself, why does the state fund churches instead of funding shelters? Why does it fund sermons instead of funding food? Why does it fund pulpits instead of funding psychologists? And please, don't hide behind scripture. Jesus never said to give Caesar the money to rebuild temples while the poor people them sleep outside. It was quite the opposite that he said. Now, Jamaica, here's the part that hurts. Pastors are being positioned as trauma counselors. But trauma counseling requires one thing that the system cannot allow, and that is truth. Truth about anger, truth about injustice, truth about harm. You see, a real counselor, they will tell someone, you were wronged. It's not your fault. This system failed you. And that voice, Jamaica, is dangerous. But a sermon, it will say, endure, forgive, be patient. God is testing you. And suddenly, suffering becomes holy. My Christians, hear this carefully. When faith is used to keep people quiet instead of free, that is not God. That is power wearing scripture. Remember, Jesus flipped tables when religion protected money over people. So why are we silent when the same thing is happening now? Jamaica, ask the question that you're afraid to ask. If this policy benefits God, why does it leave the poor untouched? If this policy is righteous, why does it avoid housing the homeless? If this policy is holy, why does it protect buildings before children? Jamaica, here is the hardest truth. The system knows that Christians are less likely to resist, especially when suffering is framed as faith. And that's why this works. That's why it's chosen. This is not an attack on churches. This is a warning to the faithful. Because when the state funds the church to manage pain, instead of funding injustice, faith becomes a leash. And the final question you should ask, the one that should keep you up awake at night, if Jesus came and saw churches rebuilt while people are sleeping outside, would he bless it or would he overturn it? Sit with that, Jamaica. Don't try and defend it. Don't try and explain it away. Just sit with that. Because truth does not shout, truth haunts.
Truth does not shout, it haunts the hell out of you. And we're hoping that $75 million rather, that $75 million that the pastors line up to come out and attack
Primetime News follow-up now.
That the pastors lined up to come out and attack Mr. Warmington. Those same pastors tonight will be praying and preaching down God from the cross. I kid you not. Sharon Johnson Walton, Happy New Year to you from London. These same pastors tonight will be praying Jesus down from the cross. The same pastor then will come out, come line up to attack Everard Warmington, the only politician, whatever you might think of him, that is defending poor people's money from this government and him friend them. We just use with money like a for them so. Church get money, JPS get money, and the government are evict we. And the government come out and tell lies, say we make up story about eviction. I never used to them if you come out by the 31st. What I pray is that these pastors be haunted by this money. This money haunt these pastors. May these pastors have miserable nights every night if they take poor people picking their money. May these pastors have sleepless nights. May these pastors see the people of Jamaica neck deep in water, under zinc, under tent, when them go to bed at night time, if them take poor people money.
Primetime News follow-up now. Church leaders are firing back at criticism from government MP Everard Warmington about the $75 million approved to help faith-based institutions and churches recover after Hurricane Melissa. Details in this report. It's been less than 24 hours since government MP Everard Warmington publicly objected to the government's allocation of $75 million to help churches rebuild from Hurricane Melissa. But already, the clergy has come out swinging.
Of course, Mr. Warmington just loved to talk.
In an interview with TVJ News on Monday, Mr. Warmington questioned the justification for the allocation by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and argued that many churches are financially stable and should care for themselves at this time. However, Bishop Delford Davis of Power of Faith Ministry...
Can you imagine in a country where the church has become the government's bulldog? Because Andrew Holness, within less than 24 hours, line up about 4 or 5 pastors to come out from Everard Warmington,
Ministry International dismissed that claim, arguing that some churches are in fact struggling financially.
I can't speak to the wealth of the congregations or the church generally. One thing I know, church is generally supported by the love, the free will gifts of tithes and offering of its members. So, of course, the whole question of wealth being amassed, I can't speak to that. I know churches struggle to carry out their missions because the mission of the church goes way beyond the 4 walls.
Bishop Rowan Edwards of the Lighthouse Assembly went further.
Not many churches have money that Mr. Warmington is talking about. Many of the rural churches don't have a proper account. They don't have an account because the money that the church makes has to be given back to the people who attend the church. So they don't have the kind of money that Mr. Warmington is talking about.
In raising his objection, Mr. Warmington also suggested that the affected churches consolidate their membership with others. Bishop Davis says it could be considered. However,
the very fact that we know that there's a need for the weakness of the church in each community, I would rather support us standing with each community and with each local congregation to make them a light shining in that particular area than to consolidate in certain areas. I believe it will create a void within those communities from which those congregations would be removed.
The pastors commended Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness for approving the allocation, describing it as a timely intervention which highlights the government's recognition of the role churches play in society. But for Bishop Rowan Edwards,
at the same time, we have to realize that people are without roofs. People don't have a place to live. We would ask Mr. Prime Minister that you give the church the money to help their people to put back on their roofs. When their roofs are gone back on, now you give us more money to put back on our church roofs.
in the meantime, the church leaders are calling for constructive discussions, insisting the issue should be focused on recovery, partnership, and national resilience.
While states do not run church and church do not run states, but it's a wonderful thing for church and state to collaborate in all the ways that they can.
In the meantime, clergymen based in rural Jamaica are also taking Everald Warmington to task for his position. In St. Elizabeth, the clergy says the cash would be a boost to the church's mission.
That money is well needed. I mean, I want you to know that the church has a very special mission, and that is to help humanity. And that is really what.
This boy is an Adventist, you know. Adventist, which is one of the richest Christian organization in our country. One of the richest. And hear this idiot.
What the church has been doing. So, I mean, the government, a matter of fact, cannot do everything. And the church is actually doing a wonderful work in helping people, in better people's life in many ways. So if this time comes around where the church should really get a particular help, I don't see why the church shouldn't get any form of help from the government if the government wants it.
Anybody know of the Adventist church? They not preach again, you know. The Adventist pastor them turn administrators. A big paperwork ain't concerned about. Because you have to do conference back sticking. These pastors a big administration writing rota, this, that, and the other. Pastor now do pastor job again. Anybody who got Adventist church can tell you. Pastors are not doing pastor job again. They're getting paid for nothing. And them still have this, they lack the shame where they can come out, come quarrel over dead people and sick people money.
To give it, I think Mr. Warmington is misinformed or doesn't really understand the mission of the church. Because the mission of the church is really to help with the...
As someone who want to demonize people, when I tell us that we're misinformed or we're spread propaganda, because we can never speak the truth. Uno alone know how the truth go.
Needs and the situation of mankind.
Minister Parkins contends the church is among the institutions helping Jamaicans through the crisis. Therefore, it is not wrong for the state to assist.
Consider it. Where you go when you have funerals? Where do you go when you have weddings? Where do you go when you have child education? As a matter of fact, the church is a sanctuary to help people actually having a good mental state. I mean, look at the crisis we had. And I mean, how people cope. I mean,
Sir, stop the bullshit. Remember, I am aware of an Adventist pastor who did lose his license for a period. Well, when people come to him, woman will go to him with marriage, for marriage counsel. In getting an underwear. It's common in the Adventist church, sir. So don't say people come there for solace. Uno glad when they come there for their reason because of that uno use uno opportunity for moving pandemic in them vulnerable state. Don't make me start on Adventist pastors. Cause uno know so uno don't somebody. Uno know so uno zip always just run down so uno zip can't keep up. Adventist pastors don't make me thought pound. A new year, don't make me thought pound.
For some people, if we close church right now, we have a lot of people having mental problems.
These people are wicked. But I want to say to the government, you think because it's a new year, we're going to ease back and say, all right, it's a new year. No, Prime Minister, we're rolling up our sleeves. Prime Minister, and this, the first few minutes of 2026, we are rolling up our sleeves, Prime Minister, because the work has only just begun. Because we know that what you have served us up in October and continue to serve us up, you have works in store for us. So we're going to have to prepare to meet you at the crossroad, Prime Minister. The so-called New Year literally doesn't change anything. Because while we're celebrating New Year's tonight and lighting gunpowder, half of the country is still reeling from the effects of Melissa. Half of the country is still lying in the rubble of what's left of Melissa, with a government that have collected billions in loan, insurance, gifts, and donations. Not a dime, though. Not a signal of help for the people who need it most. But a government who swore to declare war on us. A government who swore to push back on everything that we say. Oh, how though if this government would have used that time and energy to do what is necessary to alleviate the suffering of Jamaicans in the disaster zone. It's because of the behaviors of government and the docility of the people why Marcus Garvey would tell us to unite or perish. Because if we don't, it's only going to turn out a wee bit worse for us. Thank you for being here tonight on this Us in 2026 in London. To those of you on the Eastern timeline, hurry up and come. By the time we wake up tomorrow morning in London, you also will be in 2026. Prosperity, long life, and a great awakening to you all for 2026. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight on our New Weaves into New Year's show. Lovely to have your support as always. Join us back tomorrow morning when we will have the first program of 2026. Thank you and good night from Global TV. Once again, from Global TV and to everyone, a happy and prosperous New Year to you all.
Run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just I and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh. preparing the way, preparing the way for the people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime, fight down. Me say Rastafari, war and crime, and do that righteousness. And we love, and we love Jaja, and we love Jaja, Rastafari, and we love Jaja, we love Jaja, we love Jaja, Rastafari, preserve all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I say, watch a man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace, but we are penalized. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Preparing the way, preparing the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime, Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all, and we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all, me love Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight, and then.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.